नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम्। 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 नित्यानन्द परमशिवोऽहम्।
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं कनददशं तद्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityanandam, everybody. On behalf of KAILASA nation and with blessings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, we welcome each and every one of you to this panel discussion. Today, November 20, is World Children's Day, as declared by the United Nations. We have on this panel delegates of Sri KAILASA nation, Ma Mahakatitananda, Ma Swatantra Priyananda, and myself, Ma Vijaya Priya Nityananda, and our esteemed guest panelist, Miss Emmy Stubing, CEO of the Zebra Child Protection Center, as well as Miss Emily Murray, Miss Brooklyn Mondo, and Miss Kimberly Clark from the Zebra Child Protection Center, as well as Ma Divya Jain, and the Acharyas of the Nityananda E-Gurukul, Ma Stephanie Tangatan, Ma Tityana Lidvyak, Ma Nitya Lalitambikananda, Ma Devi Shula, Ma Bhakti Vasyananda, Ma Nitya Shraddha Rupananda, and Shri Shanti Das. Welcome each and every one of you. We have gathered today to discuss how we can together create a peaceful, safe, and sustainable world for our youth to reach its peak unique potential.
Who is the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, was born January 3rd, 1978. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the reviver of KAILASA, the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, and temple-based universities available for humanity. The Sovereign Order of Kailasa, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and Nityananda Order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace and to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was ordained the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam Pontiff of Kanchi Kailasa Sarvanyapitam Tondai Mandaladinam. He is the 203rd Emperor of the Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajam. He is the present 293rd Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam Pontiff of Kailasonnata Shyamalapita Sarvanyapitam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also the present Mahamandaleshwar, the supreme spiritual head of the Mahanirvani Akada, which is the largest apex monastic order. He is ordained the 1008th Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, the head for all spiritual leaders of Atal Akada, the ancient apex body of Hinduism. He is the present 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharma Mukti Swargapuramadinam, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the incumbent Emperor of Surya Vamsa Surangi Samrajam Kingdom. And he was elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in 2015 by a congregation over 1,000 Hindu leaders, pontiffs, and spiritual leader of the 2 billion Hindu diaspora worldwide.
And for the past 27 years of his public life, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has sincerely worked to provide an enlightened ecosystem for communities all around the world. He has inspired over 30 million Hindus to revive the non-violent-based enlightened ecosystem. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has launched the Minutes for Peace meditation in 2003, and since then, over 4.3 billion minutes in meditation have been recorded. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also launched the No Hungry Home Project, and 1 billion free meals have been served globally since then. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has opened his monasteries as a sanctuary for thousands of families during COVID, providing multi-layer quarantine facilities with all amenities provided free of cost. The nations also published KAILASA's report on COVID-19 and multilateralism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has delivered 10,000 hours of free discourses, which have gained more than 1 billion views. He has authored 1,000 books and 10,000 articles published since 2008 in 3 languages and translated in 50 languages.
In 2003, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism founded the Nityananda Hindu University, the world's largest Hindu university with over 1,165 million enrollments, over 2,700 courses with over 450 extended campuses in over 150 countries, and over 10,000 hours of spiritual discourses on ancient, rare scriptural manuscripts. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is a strong advocate of vegetarianism. He is a defender and upholder of women and LGBTQ rights. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has built 11 temples in North America and 150 temples around the world, including Toronto, Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Houston, St. Louis, Columbus, New Jersey, Charlotte, Phoenix, and Oklahoma. Over 10,000 free meals have been served daily, and over 250,000 programs conducted with free daily yoga and meditation classes.
We are gathered here today on the occasion of World Children's Day, which was previously known as Universal Children's Day as defined by the United Nations in 1954. November 20th is also an important day in history because in 1959, the United Nations General Assembly adopted the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. It is also on this day, November 20th, in 1989, that the Convention on the Rights of the Child was adopted by the UN General Assembly. On this day, nations all over the world, including KAILASA Nation, promote international togetherness, awareness among children worldwide, and improvement of children's welfare. And that is why today we have gathered from various parts of the world, from the United States, from Canada, France, and Switzerland, to discuss how together we can create a peaceful, safe, and sustainable future. And so when we think about this, how to create a safe and supportive environment in which each child can flourish and reach the peak of his or her potential, we realize that this goal can only be achieved through the collaboration of various actors who are involved, whether directly or indirectly, in raising and taking care of our youth. So this means that mothers and fathers, teachers, nurses and doctors, government leaders and civil society activists, religious and community elders, corporate moguls, and media professionals, as well as, of course, young people and children, should come together to share how together we can manifest this reality and make it relevant for each community, society, and nation. And as per the ancient sacred scriptures of Hinduism, the Veda Agamas, the power of creating the reality as we want is a science. It is the science of power manifestation, the science of manifesting Shaktis. We will share a beautiful Shastra Pramana from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 113, Tarana 87. Fix your gaze without perceiving, immediately experience oneness and express powers. Sampradayamimam Devi Shrinu Samyak Vadamyaham kevalyam jayate satyo netrayoho staptamatrayoho. O Devi, listen to this sacred tradition. I shall reveal it to you vividly, completely. Just keep your eyes completely wide open. Do not see or perceive anything. By simply keeping it fixed with a steady gaze on the reality within. By this, the state of aloneness, the oneness that expresses as extraordinary powers and experiences will occur immediately.
So this verse from our Hindu scriptures demonstrates how our sacred tradition carries the knowledge of the science of power manifestation, which enables us from the space of oneness with the whole to express powers and directly experience changes in our reality. Despite being from various backgrounds and coming from different parts of the world, it is safe to say that we all share a common vision of creating the best Vatavarana, which means environment or atmosphere in Sanskrit, for our youth to expand, thrive, and become responsible and enlightened leaders. We can see, and parents and teachers who are part of our panel can testify to this, that our youth is becoming more and more concerned with the state of the world, whether we are talking about violence, climate change, or other issues. Our youth wants to be part of the solution, a peaceful and sustainable solution. This can happen through the science of power manifestation, as revealed by the sacred Hindu scriptures, the Vedas and Agamas, and revived and shared with the whole world by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Now, you may be wondering, as a president of a country, as a CEO of a country, as a mother, as a father, as a child, as a teenager, as a child, how can the science of power manifestation help me create a powerful, a peaceful, and sustainable world for children? So the question will be addressed now during the live discussion we will be having, but let's first take a moment to understand the reality that our youth is experiencing in the modern days. It is important to understand the issues to be able to deliver the right solutions and sustainable solutions. What is the state of the world today? Infanticide, which is the act of deliberately causing the death of a very young child under 1 year old. The Asian Center for Human Rights, AACHR, released a report on the 11th of July, 2016, Female Infanticide Worldwide, which states that female infanticide for son preference due to a variety of reasons is a worldwide phenomenon, with 1.5 female fetuses being aborted every year. Next, we have malnutrition deaths. According to the World Bank, 69 million children worldwide suffer from malnutrition. According to the UNICEF, nearly half of all deaths in children under the age of 5 can be attributed to undernutrition, resulting in about 3 million children deaths a year, which mostly occur in low and middle income countries.
In terms of exploitation of children on the streets, in 2003, UNICEF estimated that there were at least 100 million street children, often called hidden children, in the world. A study conducted by Save the Children in 2013-2014 on street children in 4 cities, with a sample size of 4,224 children, found that 90.6% of the children surveyed reported that they faced risks on the street in the form of threat to limb or life, police harassment, parental abuse, and sexual abuse. Recent studies across countries show that in all parts of the world, most street children have experienced intra-family violence and come from fragile families located in poor income neighborhoods.
And in terms of kidnapping, trafficking in the begging industry, according to the National Human Rights Commission, up to 40,000 children are abducted in India every year, of which at least 11,000 remain untraced. At least 300,000 children across India are drugged, beaten, and forced to beg every day in what has become a multi-million rupee industry controlled by human trafficking cartels. In terms of physical, psychological, and sexual abuse, according to the World Health Organization, nearly 3 in 4 children, or over 300 million children aged 2 to 4 years, regularly suffer physical punishments and/or psychological violence at the hands of parents and caregivers. Globally, it is estimated that up to 1 billion children aged 2 to 17 years have experienced physical, sexual, or emotional violence or neglect in the past year.
Next, lack of access to education or substandard education. According to the UNESCO Institute of Statistics, about 258 million children and youth were out of school for the year ending in 2018. The total includes 59 million children of primary school age, 62 million of lower secondary school age, and 138 million of upper secondary age. 53% of them are girls, by UNICEF. And next is mental disorders, depression, suicide. In the US, according to a report released Friday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the rate of suicide among those aged 10 to 24 increased nearly 60% between 2007 and 2018. The rise occurred in most states, with 42 experiencing significant increases.
In terms of binge drinking, substance abuse, eating disorders, and teenage pregnancies, according to the National Center for Drug Abuse, drug use among 8th graders increased 61% between 2016 and 2020. By the 12th grade, 62% of teenagers have abused alcohol, and 1.19 million 12 to 17-year-olds report binge drinking in the last month. 50% of teenagers have misused a drug at least once. 43% of college students use illicit drugs. 86% of teenagers know someone who smokes, drinks, or uses drugs during the school day.
Next is cyberbullying. About 37% of our young people between the ages of 12 and 17 have been bullied online. 30% have had it happen more than once, and about half of LGBTQ+ students experience online harassment, a rate which is higher than average.
So throughout the world, throughout the world, various organizations are committed to the common vision of supporting our children and youth so that they can flourish and reach the peak of their potential. And today, on World Children's Day, November 20th, KAILASA is delighted to welcome the Zebra Child Protection Center, located in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, to share about their mission, which is to serve children and youth who have been impacted by abuse, supporting them through the justice and healing process with a continuum of multidisciplinary resources. We sincerely thank Mrs. Amy Stubing, CEO of the Zebra Child Protection Center, as well as Miss Emily Murray, Miss Brooklyn Mondor, and Miss Kimberly Clark for creating this short video we're about to watch.
Child Protection Center. On behalf of the Zebra Child Protection Center, we would like to express our gratitude to the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and KAILASA for hosting this panel discussion on World Children's Day, bringing dedicated organizations, communities, and individuals together to discuss how we can create a peaceful, safe, and sustainable future for children around the world. We look forward to learning more about Hinduism and about the authentic Hindu education system. Next, my colleagues Brooklyn Mondor and Kimberly Clark are going to share a little bit more about the Zebra Child Protection Center. Thank you.
The Zebra Child Protection Center is our community's response to child abuse. Since 2002, the Zebra Center has been committed to keeping children and youth in our community safe, and we aspire to create a future where every child and youth is heard, respected, and safe from abuse. We can't do this important work without the support of our caring community members. In 2002, 2,844 children and youth shared their story in a safe place where they were heard, believed, and supported.
We work closely with our multidisciplinary partners to create an individualized support plan for every brave child and youth that comes through our doors. We are committed to being with them through the investigative, judicial, and healing process.
Before the Zebra Center existed, a child or youth who had experienced abuse would be interviewed at police headquarters. Each time, telling their story becomes more and more difficult.
Now, there is the Zebra Center, which is a place that welcomes children, youth, and their families who have experienced abuse from the moment they step off their elevator with a child advocate, alongside every step of the way to provide support and resources.
Giving children and youth a voice builds resiliency. We see it every day. Children who have experienced abuse begin to heal, and their strength shows so often through laughter echoing through the hallways, their courage as they tell their story, and even the jokes or stories they tell us while they play or color.
You may wonder why we are called the Zebra Child Protection Center. In the wild, when danger appears, zebras form a protective circle around their young. The Zebra Child Protection Center works the same way, bringing together a community of professionals to provide a continuum of support through the entire disclosure, investigative, judicial, and healing processes with customized care for each child, youth, and their family.
We all have a role to play in building safer and stronger communities. It is our legal and ethical duty to report child abuse, which means being able to recognize signs of abuse and to speak up for children who haven't yet found their voice. Our community comes together to raise awareness and donations for our center, which is crucial to helping us share our message and is crucial to the support we can provide to children, youth, and their families. Working together truly does make a difference.
Now, we must also remain aware of the many aggravating factors which can make a distressed youth tip over the edge and enter into destructive behaviors, whether to himself, herself, or to others. These factors include, but are not limited to, fear, sibling rivalry, issues at school, warring parents, dysfunctional families, single parents, fear of punishment, death of a loved one, distressed parents. And what we have spoken about, this is not even an exhaustive list of the violence done against children worldwide, but it clearly shows that change needs to happen urgently.
I've seen many times.
Yes, so before entering into today's discussion with our esteemed guest panelist, we'll be watching a short video in which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains what a golden childhood truly is.
When my Gurukul kids take the elder kids take the responsibility of younger kids, immediately the amount of maturity, responsibility happens in them. That responsibility brings so much maturity. I tell you, the joyful childhood is matured childhood. You are matured, but you are in the body of a kid. That's the best life. Listen, Many people write the history of golden childhood, glimpses of a golden childhood or golden childhood. No childhood is golden because they were immature when they were in the child body. When they are matured, they are already in the adult body. I lived a most matured life in a childhood body, I tell you. I have a real golden childhood. Golden childhood is child body, matured being. When a matured being lives in a child body, that's a golden childhood. You will be as innocent as kids, as enlightened as more than any adults. Matured being in a child body is a golden childhood. All other idea of golden childhood, look back, actually when you were a child, how were you? You were frightened about your student, your teacher, you were frightened about your hostel warden, you were frightened about your classmates, you were frightened about the bullying by other colleagues, other friends or students. Then how can you call that as a golden childhood? And you are pulled and pushed, dragged by the small desires like a candy, a toy. You have so much of incompletions when you are a child. How can you call that as a golden childhood? No. Matured being in a child body is the golden childhood. That is golden childhood. I tell you, I had golden childhood. I am giving the authentic golden childhood to my kids in the Gurukul. जब आपका मूल विचार अचेत रूप से जन्म लेता है, आपका पूरा जीवन अचेत रूप में ही बीत जाएगा। केवल जब आप अपनी मूल विचार से पूर्णत्व लाएंगे, आप द्विजा कहला सकते हैं, क्योंकि तभी आपका सचेत जन्म होता है। दूसरों को समझना और उन्हें लाभान्वित करना ही आध्यात्मिक सक्रियता है। Even if you carry one powerlessness, your life cannot be called as golden. The normal kids have so many powerlessness. If you look back at your childhood, you had so many powerless moments. Then how can you call that as a golden childhood? No. It is only your fantasy. Your childhood becomes real golden childhood when it is full of powerful moments, no powerlessness. And I give this as a command to all my Gurukul kids. Understand? No powerlessness any moment of life. Okay? No powerlessness. Life should be full of energy and powerful.
Such a beautiful video. So the beauty of the Vedic education system and its science of power manifestation, which is being revived on a grand scale by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is that it is rooted in one of the fundamental principles of Hinduism, Ahimsa paramo dharmaha. Non-violence is the highest virtue. Our ancient rishis are very clear. Education and knowledge should always be for peace. That is why before any Gurukul class starts, the Shanti mantra, the peace declaration, is chanted. From this context of peace, power manifestation is used by the initiated children, the adolescents, and also by the adults to create a peaceful, safe, and sustainable future for children. We now wish to give an experience to our viewers by playing a short video in which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, will be guiding all of us into reciting the Shanti mantra. We invite everyone to chant along.
Please recite the Shanti mantra of Kathopanishad along with me. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejas Vinavaditamastu Mavit Vishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This verse explains the context of Gurukul. Listen. This verse explains the context of Gurukul. Gurukul means, the literal meaning of the Gurukul is Guru's home. Please understand, in the Hindu tradition, family is the nucleus. You demolish any thousands of number of temples, you burn any thousands of number of scriptures, as long as the family system is alive, we will stand back. We will come back. Because Sanatana Hindu Dharma values are transferred through the family tradition, the Gotra.
Now that we all had this amazing opportunity and blessing to recite the Shanti Mantra along with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we are going to enter into this very exciting portion of the program, which is the panel discussion. And again, today we have many esteemed guests with us, and we will be basically sharing about how together we can create a peaceful, safe, and sustainable future. And our first guest panelist is going to be Shanti Dash. And the Supreme Pontiff defines education as, education means constantly breaking your impossibilities, making all the best possibilities manifest. So from this context, as beautifully explained by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the ancient Vedic education system is designed to awaken higher consciousness in each child, thereby leading him or her to manifest his or her highest possibility. Sri Shanti Swarup Dash, as the father of 2 children and as a Nityananda Igurukul Acharya, teacher. Could you please share and expand on the roots of the Vedic education system and share about the role of the Guru in the transmission of knowledge?
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma, for giving me the opportunity to be part of this discussion. Sure. As we discuss about Vedic education system, in essence, we are talking about Gurukul education system. And for time immemorial, this is the only education system that was known to Hindus till 1800s. So this education system was very much in practice about 150, 200 years ago by maybe about, if you look at India, maybe about 30% of the total population of the planet, 30 to 40% of the total population of the planet. So it is very much, it was a mainstream education system. That is how authentic it was. And in this education system, every child is given the means to achieve his or her possibilities in a very fearless way, because the essence of the education system starts with a sacred understanding of the you are the celebration of cosmos. So you are the existence that you're celebrating yourself. So there is no external thing that you have to fear about. So that is the essence it starts from. So that is what is ingrained into every child that goes to this education system. That brings a complete completion in him. So when he is completely fearless, whatever is manifesting out of his comes out of that fearless joy. And just to give you an example, today I just read an article. I just came across an article. One of the Susruta is one of the premier institutions in Australia. They declared Susruta as a father of medicine. Susruta is a 10,000-year-old rishi, father of surgery. He's declared as father of surgery. He's a 10,000-year-old surgery. And 10,000, Susruta was maybe 10,000-year-old back. He was a rishi who is attributed to the father of the surgery. That is the kind of individuals Gurukul produces. And even if you go back recently, you will find a lot more instances. Aryabhat, the father of calculus, that you can think of. He also went through the same Gurukul education system. And in the Gurukul education system, as we discuss it, Guru, as Swamiji, as supreme point of Hinduism, just recently mentioned one of the video clip that we are watching, it is the Guru's home. So that is where he's inviting all his disciples. And it is in that atmosphere, in that Vatavarana, he's transmitting the knowledge to them. So in Gurukul education system, one of the essential aspects of education is to experiential transmission of knowledge. That is where Guru plays the most important role, because he is not necessarily just transmitting the knowledge, how the things are done in a very mechanical way, but he's transmitting his own experience, his holistic experience around it, in terms of not just the knowledge, what it does to you in your cognition, in your inner space, the entire thing gets transmitted to you. So at that point, the knowledge itself is as good as walking, as good as a child is walking on the street. And the power, one of the critical aspects of supreme point of Hinduism is introducing power manifestation as one of the means to quickly make this cognition shift in any individual that any individual, not just a child, but any individual that comes across through this system. With this, I will end my discussion. If you have any more questions, please let me know.
Thank you so much for this powerful sharing. Actually, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also said that even incarnations need to attend the Gurukul, because that is the way actually to see how to reproduce this science in others. And so even Lord Krishna, Lord Rama had to go to Gurukul. That's how powerful this Vedic education system is. It's so the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says it's mandatory. Gurukul is mandatory in the Vedic tradition. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So the next question is To Ma Stephanie, the power of creating a conscious will to manifest the reality as we want is a science of Hinduism. Nityananda Ma Stephanie. So as a neurocognitive scientist from Switzerland who has done research on meditation, and as a Nityananda E. Gurukul Acharya teacher, and as a mother, could you please share how the Gurukul lifestyle is rooted in the science and how, based on scientific facts, the ancient Vedic lifestyle is necessary to create a peaceful and sustainable future?
Yes, sure, Ma, Nityananda, everyone. So let's have a look at it, what happens in the Gurukul in the first place. So basically, what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism just also stated in the video that we just have seen, it is the home of the Guru. Who's the Guru? The Guru is the one who brings us back into the light. And being in the home of the Guru means that we are connecting with our highest potential, with the highest energy, and with the highest expression of ourselves. So for the Gurukul by itself, and in the context of sciences, it means when we look at the different practices that we have in the Gurukul, for example, yoga, meditation, puja, lots and lots of powerful cognitions. Of course, the power manifestation, which was mentioned already, which is an essential part of the Gurukul, and being initiated and guided and supported by an enlightened being. This is something that is very, very crucial and important at this time. And it is it's the only way for us to survive on this planet, to connect with the divine and to express this here on planet Earth. So when we look at it, what happens in the Gurukul and what it means scientifically, of course, the whole Vedic science is the oldest science on this planet. And the nowadays science is just grasping and starting to understand what this science that has been on this planet for thousands and thousands of years is capable of. So let's look at the different aspects. I mean, there is a lot of research in the yoga and meditation field out there. When you just look at the common scientific platforms like PubMed, if you search for articles, you find immediately just with the word meditation, over 8,000 articles. You find over 6,000 articles about yoga research. There is a lot out there already. And so we know already, and science have shown many times and times again that meditation and yoga is good for us, and of course also good for our kids. So, but what comes on top of that in the Gurukul, it is the connection to the Guru, and it is the connection to the divine energy and to our highest potential. So, as Shantidas just mentioned, and we have heard before, to create whatever we want is our highest potential. To be whatever we want and what our highest potential is the highest expression that we can have. The Gurukul supports that in many, many ways. So one of the essential is, of course, the connection to the Guru. And this we practice in the Gurukul through many ways, through the power manifestation by itself when the divine flows through us. Scientifically, we would look at, of course, first of all, the body, the brain, and maybe the energetical system. And science could show that the initiation by a master leads to a huge flood of energy through the whole body and into the brain, which is the awakening of the Kundalini Shakti, the cosmic energy. When this floods the brain, all sorts of parts of the brain get awakened, and they also come into their highest or higher potential. So many parts of the brain get awakened, healing energy floods the whole body, and we come into our potential, the DNA gets awakened, and many studies have shown that also. So there has been done some research also in the programs that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has conducted, the Inner Awakening programs, for example. There have been many studies and research done in that direction that it could be shown that the brain really gets activated, the DNA gets initiated and also activated more. There is the so-called telomeric activity, for example, that gets awakened, that basically keeps us young. And also the mitochondrial activity. This is the parts of those are the parts of the cell that have to do with energy supply. So the mitochondrial activity also increased through initiation, and the power manifestation and the programs about 1,000% and more. There are many other studies that have been done also on the kids of the residential Gurukul, the Balasins, that could show that not only the memory increases significantly, and they have a huge capacity in the range of geniuses, but also that like other components in the behavioral scale, psychological things, many parts have improved. And like those in the management field most probably have these terms like very like prominent, like for example the delayed gratification. They had a huge increase in that scale as well. So it could be shown not only through the programs that the Supreme Pontiff has conducted throughout the decades, but also through research that has been done on the Gurukul kids by itself. That the system, the Gurukul Vedic system, and the practice that is conducted there, and practice, that it shows a overall change in the body. Healing is happening. The brain gets activated. The dominant parts get activated. It leads to higher thinking. For example, the frontal cortex, the prefrontal cortex, and those areas that are connected to higher thinking, they get more activated, and other parts of the brain decrease in activity, like the parts that are connected with fear or other things. And like beside all these beautiful findings, nevertheless, what happens also for the kids, they become so empowered. And this I say as a Gurukula Acharya, and also as a scientist, as a mother, the kids become so alive and so activated, so life positive, so healthy, so powerful, that they know they can manifest whatever they want. And I think this is one of the crucial parts that we see in other education systems, that the kids are like so depressed and they cannot do what they want, and there's a lot of frustration and all of this. What happens in the Gurukul, the kids really start to become alive and to do whatever they want. There are even some testimonials out there where the Balasins have connected with roses, with flowers that have thorns. And as soon as the Gurukul kids, the Balasins, have connected to these plants, these flowers, with their really blissful and calm energy, the roses have thrown their thorns away. So, and with all this, we are influencing our surrounding, and also research that has been done on water, for example, water crystals. You most probably know about the research, the Emoto research, where Emoto, a scientist, had investigated the water crystals, for example. Just only speaking positive or negative words, things in a positive energy or way or a negative way, influence the water crystals. And we are like out of 80-90% of water. If that doesn't have an impact when some teacher screams at us in a negative way, or when a teacher supports us in whatever we want to express, in our creativity, in our highest potential, and so on. This is what we are doing in the Gurukul. We're supporting the kids in all these dimensions. And actually, we are just the channels for the Supreme Pontiff, who is there as an enlightened being and is working through all of us. So connecting to an enlightened being brings the kids into the highest potential and state and space that they can express, and that brings a huge capacity for them in life and to manifest whatever they want. Yes,
Thank you so much, Ma Stephanie. Yes, thank you. You highlighted so many important points here, and the feeling connection, which is establishing the feeling connection. We all feel like Gurukul kids here, and that is so unique to Hinduism. And Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is able to transmit the science and make it so available to humanity, which is extremely rare in this crucial time. So thank you so much, Ma.
Yes. Our next question is for Ma Nityananda Ma. As a primary school teacher from Calgary, Alberta in Canada, as the Nityananda E. Gurukul Acharya, and as a mother, you have had many opportunities to witness and experiment with various education methods, and you're able to directly witness its impacts on children on a daily basis. What is, in your opinion, the importance of specialization of the Gurukul education system as opposed to generalization, and how does it impact children and the world?
Nityanandam, thank you. So I'm going to continue a little bit of what Ma Stephanie spoke about when regarding specialization versus the generalization within the education system. So if we think first of all about what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says, he says that it is the primary goal in the first year of every child in Gurukul is to know your Swadharma. It's to know what your purpose is, understand your uniqueness, understand how you fit with the whole, understand your flow. So once a child knows that, it's like unleashing or just allowing their potential to flow. So whatever genius is within them can express. And it's a matter of simply giving initial initiations and allowing the child to specialize in their uniqueness and sharing that with the world. Whereas if we look at something that's more generalized, a child may enter the school system not necessarily having an idea of who they are, having different ideas, and then entering a system where if it's more of an Macaulay type education system where we have like more of a product and based goal, like you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. They don't necessarily have an understanding of who they are. And then that energy is blocked. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism relates that to being like a dam. Suddenly that energy is cut off. And so, they don't necessarily experience or express that vibrant energy, that creativity. And then what I witness as a mother is as they're going through the education system, they don't have that understanding of who they are. Suddenly they're in high school or going into university and they don't know. They don't know what to do. They don't know what's next. They don't know to turn in. They don't know that they have, that power within them, that power of manifesting. And like Swamiji says, you can update the download if you want to, manifest or create or specialize in something else. You always have that power. So I think that's why we see the depression rates, the suicide, all of that happening is because kids don't start off at the very beginning knowing who they are and knowing what their purpose is and their uniqueness and being allowed to express that. So, giving kids that opportunity just allows for kids to be in oneness with themselves. So there's no fighting within themselves. So naturally they'll be in oneness with the world around them and spread that.
Yes, Ma, what you shared is very important. And if every child could receive this education, Gurukul education system, which is what you are doing and the panelists here are doing, even though they are not able to physically attend the Gurukul, but through the online e-Gurukul, they are able to receive the initiation of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And they are able to be empowered into, so even though, they may be attending the normal education system, but at the same time, they are being empowered with the initiation and the Vedic education and, the powerful cognition. So what you guys are doing, running the e-Gurukul is really, really important. And, we thank you all, so much for running the e-Gurukul.
Thank you so much. I wanted to highlight also, Matitiana, you quoted one of my favorite, most beautiful quotes I feel that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has shared with the world about children, how in Gurukul, the children have the freedom to explore. So it's not like a dam, like you were saying. It's the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says it's an embankment for the wild river. Like Mastapani was saying, the activation becomes so intense to the initiation of the Guru, and that energy is allowed to express under the guidance of the Guru, which allows the child to reach his or her highest possibility. Thank you so much. Our next question is for Ma Lalitambikananda. So one of the greatest contributions of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to the world through the revival of Kailasa and the ancient Vedic education system is the science of completion and powerful cognitions. So Ma Nitya Lalitambikananda, as a devotee of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism for the past 5 years from Toronto, Canada, as a volunteer in daycares and community center summer youth camps with diverse communities, with children ages ranging from 4 to 18, and as a Nityananda e-Gurukul Acharya, you have directly witnessed the powerfulness expressed by children who are initiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So could you please share how the initiation from the Guru into the science of completion and powerful cognitions is not a luxury in today's world? As we have seen from all the statistics in the beginning, it is an absolute necessity. If you can please share your views on that.
Nityanandam, everyone, and my deepest gratitude at the Divine Lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Macaulay system has set society to fail in the rat race which it has created. It's no coincidence that the Gurukul and the libraries of Hinduism have been attacked. The time-tested and practical solution to this is the Guru's initiation into the science of completion and powerful cognitions, which is protecting the child from collapsing, fulfilling them with powerfulness from within, thereby them not feeling the need to engage in the destructive behaviors that we've heard about today. That has actually been normalized. And cognizing that this may be happening in the world, not part of my world. And from there, creating the reality that one wants internally to externally, creating peaceful and safe, sustainable future for our youths. And one of the quotes that I want to share from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the Gurukul. There's no education, there's only initiation. Initiation means empowering you with powers and letting you play with it and letting you manifest your specialization and letting you grow and glow. There's only one thing, Shakti Nipada, that's all. Constantly, you're empowered and asked to explore. The science of completion, providing everyone involved with the right tools to maintain the right Vatavana for our youth to thrive. Therefore, creating a peaceful and sustainable future for our youths. So the science of completion can be used to complete negative emotions or blockages that you face in day-to-day life. So now we're hearing a lot about anxiety, anger, depression, boredom, laziness, even to relationship problems. So this is a practical solution. So we're in a society that I've seen is very much problem-based and not solution-based. And here with the Gurukul, we're seeing the complete opposite, being solution-based. And this is from the Vedic time-tested solutions for everyday problems. And this is very much practical for the blissful life. Taking a life positive approach to everyday issues from the initiations from the Guru, not cognizing depression, social anxieties. We're seeing self-medicated also, substance abuse. This is not a part of the child's life who has been initiated by the Guru. There's no time spent on problems, but only solution-based. What is going to take me to my highest potential? The source and resource is the same. And having the ability to have a pure questioning, it's really amazing to see these children who are growing in, may not be growing in the Gurukul physically, but even online, how powerfully they're able to take this to their day-to-day life, and watching them grow so powerfully just by the simple concept of completion, just by the initiation from the guru. And the initiation from the guru is the key to have a powerful and blissful life. And this is not a luxury, but an absolute necessity to reach your highest potential. And seeing the kids being able to grasp this, that this is essential for me, being able to navigate through today's society with the powerful cognition of what is good for me, what is going to take me to my highest potential, and what are things that are very much around me that are happening in this society, but not going to have any impact in our life. And just want to use one of the examples of one of the children recently, looking at further education and the society that they have to be in, and trying to make a decision of what is the best education for me? What are the pros and cons? And it was really amazed to hear one of the children share with me that I noticed in the first year in one of the top, what is considered one of the top schools, they're having, after their first year, their marks are dropping and they're not able to sustain what they've come into. And some of the problems were this depression, anxiety, self-medicated substance abuse. And that child saying to me that this is not part of my life. I'm not going to have any of these issues. So I'm going to be successful in my further education. It is amazing to hear a child, as much as, we're hearing the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism teach us, and it may just sound as a concept, but practically these children are using the initiation and powerful cognition in their day-to-day life, and watching them live this blissful life. So definitely, this is not a luxury anymore. It is an absolute essential for us to reach our highest possibility, for the children to reach their highest possibility.
Thank you so much, Ma Lalita Ambikananda. Actually, you highlight, again, very powerful point, showing how it is very practical, right? And when you share about the child knowing what they're going after, and having that confidence, powerfulness that they are going to be able to manifest it, it reminded me of the teachings of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism about the real freedom, the swatantra that is given in the Gurukul to. So knowing what is everything. So thank you so much, Ma.
So the next question for Ma Bhakti Vasya. Another unique aspect of ancient Vedic education system is a traditional 64 Vedic arts, which are integrated into the Nityananda Gurukul curriculum. Ma Nitya Bhakti Vasyananda, an ordained Nityananda Yoga Acharya from Texas, USA, educated in the
deities, carving deities, doing deities in clay, or painting the deities. This is to evolve a brain, the completion, patience, will persistence, where pure consciousness can reflect and mirror the neurons can happen. And this is exactly what the children get to experience during any of these 64 Vedic art classes that the Gurukul hosts for children, such as I have enjoyed being able to host with the children the deity sculpting classes, giving them a hands-on opportunity. When the children come in to Gurukul, they are immediately enveloped into the warmth of the guru, as we have all stated here today, how it is coming into his home, coming into his space of oneness. We are immediately wrapped in his hands into the most safe space in a time in society when the children are at so much troublesome risks in the outside world. The Gurukul gives them the space where they are able to come and be their most powerful and have it become actually parts of them through their creation, through the visualization that they manifest into the different Vedic arts. It actually is a constructive play that becomes the appetite for them to be the genius that they are, that they is their highest possibility. It gives such a feeling of bhakti through the children. They develop that feeling connection to the guru and to the different arts that they are manifesting powers through. The power manifestation happens during that time also. It becomes a time when the brain is able to reconstruct through a healthy circuitry, through the power manifestation, the mirroring of the neurons through that space of oneness with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism allows the young brain to grow in such a healthy and strong dynamic that the children just are not having that opportunity in the outside world. This is something that they are developing, that deep feeling connection to the divine. And that is such an important part of today's life. All the things that we've discussed with the children having the yoga, the puja, all the different aspects that the children are experiencing with the Sanskrit alone that is instilled through all of these rituals and practices is scientifically proven to have an effect upon the brain that will allow the highest potential to happen to any individual. So all the different arts that have been experienced, the children absolutely love to do as well. It is a temple lifestyle that they are learning through the play, through the different activities that they are allowed and given the beautiful space to do. So it's just the perfect setup, Vartavana, the atmosphere for them to have that right circuitry for the power manifestation in life, which is practicing and living the life of enlightenment. And it is giving them that golden childhood that Swamiji spoke on earlier. It is giving them that chance to manifest in more ways than one, all of the different places and people that they are around in the healthy environment through the Gurukul system. It is something that is desperately needed in today's time. And I see this as the only way for children to really fully reach their highest potential in ancient times and today's times. This is just as current as it was then as it is now. And having the guru is the most important for any individual. But for a child to experience this as a child in a child body, it is truly the most beautiful gift that we can give our children. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma Bhaktivatsia. And we all have, many of us have actually experienced being around the Gurukul children, the powerfulness and the high maturity and the confidence that they just radiate. That is truly inspiring and is a powerful example of Gurukul providing the right foundation and the right Vatavadana, the ambience for these children to develop. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
Our next question is for Ma Devi Shular. So earlier, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, we were chanting along the Shanti mantra, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains that the first thing that the rishis are doing is making a will, a conscious will. And the first thing that they are teaching us is how to strengthen our limbs, our listening, our seeing, our body, our mind, our vital life energy, strengthening all of that to create a will to mature and strengthen the body and mind. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that for the right strategy to happen in us, we need to be informed of the basic truths. Sarvam Brahmopanishadam. Everything that exists is consciousness. So Ma Devi, based on your experience as a Nityananda Gurukul Acharya from the United States, and as the mother of two soon-to-be teenage girls, how important is it for them to be taught at this age that everything is consciousness, that they're not just this body or mind or emotion, they are pure consciousness. and they have the power to create that conscious will to manifest the reality as they want. How would you say that that is, how important is that in their lives?
Nityanandam, pranams, Supreme Pontiff's feet. Thank you very much for having me here today. Masatanta Priya, I mean, all of this just ties in so beautifully. I mean, I'm probably going to be saying some of the other things that other people have already mentioned. So, but yes, to create the to develop the consciousness, you know, so that we have that will, developing that strength, you know, the strength of the body, the strength of the mind, the strength of the spirit, the will, all together, so that you understand, so that these children actually understand that they, I'm going to say, are in control, that they're in that powerful space, basically, that they understand that they can create whatever they want, right? So it is very important that they learn this at a young age, especially, you know, children becoming teenagers like I do have, so that they can actually live the more peaceful, safe, sustainable life that is very much needed today. Very much. I mean, the children are bombarded with, you know, the anger, the depression, you know, the states of being the victim, bullying, I mean, the whole gamut, right? So it is very important that they actually learn how to increase their consciousness, work on the will, so that they can actually manifest, have these powerful cognitions, so that they can manifest the powers. And actually, because once you start doing that as a child, then, like Malali Tembika said, you know, it doesn't exist in her world. It doesn't exist in some of those kids' worlds. Once they start to like see how the manifesting these powers and being in that powerful state transcends them, it makes them rise above all of those other lower energy level issues on a day-to-day basis. So it's very important. You know, we do that through the puja, the yoga, you know, or, you know, anything else to strengthen the body, to strengthen the mind, you know, reading the Vedic scriptures, the chanting, you know, the list goes on and on. I mean, the Vedic arts even, you know, being creative, you know, because that's a dimension of it as well, correct? So the whole Gurukul system that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has provided for society, and not just him, there are other ones as well, correct? But the whole Gurukul system is just such a beautiful, beautiful Vatavadana. I mean, I sit in on some of these classes with some of these, in the cultural classes specifically, with some of these children, and their space is just so, it's beautiful. It's just so beautiful to like sit there, because they don't think that there's anything that they can't do. So they just create, and you know, I mean, they're natural leaders. You know, I ask, you know, do you want to chant the Guru Vandanam? Do you want to chant the Purna mantra? And I mean, everybody's raising their hand. They all want to unmute, and I mean, it's just beautiful. So
thank you so much, Man. I wanted to highlight a beautiful point. You're saying that often, you know, children, teenagers are stuck, not just them, adults as well, stuck in this victim mentality, right? But when we have that right knowledge, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says right knowledge is liberation. When we have that right knowledge that everything is pure consciousness, then it actually makes us become so responsible. I am responsible for everything that happens within me, everything that happens around me, and I can create the reality as I want it. So
true, so true, so true. Yes, they take it and they just run.
Yeah, I just want to add one more point. I have two boys, one is 17, one is 12. So the one thing that when you think that you are a consciousness, I don't know, Gurukul, what Swamiji's power manifestation, firsthand I have, as part of a Gurukul teacher, Acharya, I have noticed is what it does is it makes it easier for a child going through that process to block the inherited desire. So you do not inherit somebody else's desire. It becomes in the e-Gurukul Bhatavarana, it becomes very easy to communicate with them in that language, in the language of consciousness. So once they get a click of a power manifestation mark, then it kind of things starts shifting in a very different way. They do not really inherit others' desire. They truly recognize, in a sense, they truly recognize who they are. So that competition things goes away in them, and then puts themselves in their own control. And that is what essentially power manifestation does in a very small time window. Buddhism says it's a nuclear force. Literally, it is that. It is a nuclear force, and it immediately brings out that cognition shift. Because once somebody experiences that, means I can only talk for myself, I cannot talk for someone else. You can literally see that happening within you. You can literally see that happening I have seen it happening with my young child when I was doing
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our next question is for Ma Shraddha Rupa, Nityananda Ma. So when we look at the state of the world today and what children around the world are going through, as how we've seen in the previous slides, we understand that we need to find a sustainable solution that will eliminate the issues at the roots. So in this context, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving the science of enlightened pregnancy. So Ma Shraddha Rupa, as a certified psychologist, a former Montessori educator who worked with children ranging from the age of 3 to 6 years, and as the House of Representative of the Nityananda Sangha in France, as Gurukul Acharya and soon-to-be mother, could you share about the importance of the work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing in this regard, not just for Hindus, but also for the whole humanity?
Nityanandam, everyone. First of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to this panel. I am very excited. Thank you so much to all the panelists. It was very, very inspiring. So first of all, I'm going to talk and share my experience about enlightened pregnancy. I am 6 months pregnant now. And the first thing I want to share is that for some women, it can be difficult to become pregnant. And it was my case. I had some psychological obstacles for a few years. And because of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism teachings, powerful cognitions, and all the initiations I received, I was able to become pregnant successfully. So this is the first thing, giving the powerful cognition to the women that they can be easily pregnant, that it is natural. This is the first thing I wanted to share with you. Second thing is how much all the enrichings, all the teachings, all the initiation the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is sharing with all of us is empowering the body of the woman to be able to hold the space of the pregnancy. Most of the women are having some difficulties, physiological difficulties at first during the pregnancy. And because of this beautiful science of detoxifying the body with, for example, the Panchakriyas, the Nirahara Samyama, the taking Aritaki, taking all the Ayurvedic herbs, is strengthening the body. So today, after 6 months of pregnancy, I had 0 negative effects, 0 nausea, 0 vomiting, 0 back pain, 0 stretch mark, 0. Because of this science, such powerful science, which is preparing the body to clean itself and to be more powerful to handle the pregnancy. So this is something very important. And Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, is really reviving the Ayurvedic science to strengthen the body. And also, all the teachings from the Sanatana Hindu Dharma are really empowering. For example, completion is really helping to prepare the woman to welcome the newborn with the best mindset. And also it prepares to not be afraid for the delivery. Because I know many women can be afraid of that because especially when it is the first time, and it is my case, it's unknown. So you don't know what is it. So you can experience some anxiety, some fears, all of that. With the teachings of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, all the powerful cognitions, all the initiations, you get so strengthened. You are so self-confident with yourself. And this is the way I feel today. There is no fear. I know my guru is there for me. I know the Shaktipada is there. It means that constantly is empowering me to be very powerful and to not be afraid. And I think many, many women need that because there is so much fear around the pregnancy because many disorders can happen to the baby or to the woman, even during the delivery, many things can happen. So it is creating an atmosphere of fear and anxiety, and it is affecting all the muscle memory of the baby in the womb. So the baby will carry, from the beginning of his life, he will carry these engrams, these negative engrams. And all the science of enlightened pregnancy, Swamiji is reviving, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving, is really helping for the baby to have the best Vatavarana, the best ambience from the beginning itself. And when we have the best Vatavarana from the beginning, after we are so complete that we will be so powerful and we will just manifest our lives. And we will not have to do all that we have to do as adults today, like completing all the patterns, all the root patterns and everything. So this is really the future of humanity. All the humanity need that science of enlightened pregnancy to be able to welcome enlightened beings also, to be able to handle like very high consciousness level of beings on this planet Earth. And we really need this kind of being to raise all the humanity, all the level of the consciousness of the whole humanity. And also the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is sharing many powerful cognitions on birth, how it is happening exactly. For example, the fact that the soul is entering into the body at the time of the delivery. This is something very, very important. Can you imagine if all the women in the world understood that, know that abortion could be a little bit more smoothly? I think it could really help them to understand and to go through and to digest the whole experience, I think, more easily with more consciousness, for example. And also as soon to be a mother, I am benefiting a lot from the e-Gurukul, which is such a beautiful space. Just being with the kids, with their innocence, with the way they manifest the powers of the third eye so easily. the way they just play and they just unclutch from everything is really, really inspiring me. So I really recommend all the families, all the pregnant women, everyone to join the e-Gurukul. From your home itself, you can benefit from this. You don't even have to go to India or anywhere else. You just need internet connection and computer, and that's all. And you can benefit from that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma Shraddha Rupa, for sharing. And I want to add that the mothers who go through the enlightened pregnancy deliver babies who are enlightened. And the way to check is, normally babies would be born with the fist closed, meaning that, they're coming with some karma. But the enlightened babies, their fist would usually be in some mudra, So this is the way to check. And the enlightened pregnancy is actually something extremely rare because the initiations and the processes that the mother goes through can only be given by an avatar. And the last avatar, Purna avatar, that happened was Lord Shri Krishna 5,000 years ago. And now we have the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Sri Nityananda Paramashivam. So it's extremely rare to have the enlightened pregnancy. And yes, so everybody, it's very important for, the mothers out there, who wants to get pregnant to go through the enlightened pregnancy, because this is going to help in raising responsible future, responsible citizens and even politicians, for a sustainable and peaceful world. So thank you so much, Ma, for sharing.
And our last panelist, she wasn't able to make it live today, but she has shared with us a beautiful video. And we would like to thank her, Ma Divya Jain, for taking part in KAILASA's live panel on World Children's Day. Ma Divya Jain is a biotechnologist and the mother of 2 young girls. She converted to Christianity in 2013 and came back to Sanatana Hindu Dharma in 2020. And so we have asked the following question to Ma Divya. Based on your experience and what has been shared today, what is the importance of the revival work of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism through KAILASA, and how can the Hindu education system and the Hindu ecosystem as a whole be the solution for a peaceful and sustainable future for children and the world at large? So we will now be listening to Ma Divya's sharing. Next slide.
Nityanandam, everyone. I think a practical example can be the best example. Let me start with my experience of eating unhealthy food, and because of which I developed bloating and gastritis and many other problems. I decided to go on greens, salads, native grains, lot of water, eating and chewing my food properly. All of it helped in subsiding my problems of gastritis and bloating. But due to the routine, I went back to unhealthy habits of eating, and eventually all the problems came back. Then I decided to revive the healthy eating habit. So the combination of knowledge and direct experience is the most powerful thing. Similarly, as the healthy food is needed for body, for soul and mind, we need knowledge. Knowledge is the most powerful food for soul and mind. The healthy education of Gurukul needs to be revived, as it teaches moral ethics and practical implementation. The knowledge is directly taken out from Shastras, and that is what is being taught at Gurukuls. The Shastras as Ved, Upaved, Upanishad, Aranyakas, Brahmanas, etc. So if this knowledge is being taught, that becomes most practical and most efficient solution to create great human being by inculcating the good knowledge for the mind, body and soul, and that creates a great society and a great asset to humanity. Now, if we see that right now in today's age, there are so many problems with the society, right? Rapes, murders, infidelity, porn viewership, stealing, lying, deceit, what not is going on? What is the solution to all of this? The Macaulay education, it is not based out of Shastra, it's not based on Shastra education, and that is what it lacks. It lacks the truth, it lacks that cosmic truth, the cosmic principle, and that is why it is failing. It is needs to be revived. The trading of Hindu ecosystem, where all the Hindus are involved and they're doing trades with each other, or in other formats like education, living, it needs to be Shastra based, and then only that we will be able to revive the beautiful humanity or the higher consciousness of the humanity that we want or that we are striving for. And thus the revival work of Bhagwan Nityananda Parashivam is so important. And with this video, I want to thank and take an opportunity to thank you, Kailasa, for inviting me on this panel. This is Divya Jain.
Yes, thank you. Through Kailasa, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is not only creating one safe home or one safe school, but he's reviving an entire ecosystem, the Hindu ecosystem and its main pillars. And one of them is the Hindu education system, the Gurukul, which is based on the age-old Shastras, the Vedas and the Agamas. As we have discussed today, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is also reviving the Vedic science of power manifestation to awaken the superconsciousness in each and every one of us so that we can reclaim our conscious sovereignty and create the reality as we want. With the Vedic science of power manifestation under the guidance of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, creating a peaceful, safe, and sustainable future for children around the world is possible. Through his revival work, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is giving children around the world a real golden childhood, where the child is mature but is still in a child's body. On behalf of Kailasa Nation, we sincerely thank the Zebra Child Protection Center, our esteemed guest, and each and every one of you for your online presence today on World Children's Day on November 20. Stay tuned for future Kailasa's live panel discussions, and we look forward to seeing you then. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Bhagavan Shri Nityananda Paramashivam Padukar Namastu Om Nityanandam.
I welcome you all with my love.